Good morning. So it says that I'm live, so hopefully I'm live. I was thinking about something, a couple things actually. One was this. I'm trying to wake people up, right? So I might as well do it in the morning, I guess. That's kind of a joke, but the other thing is I looked outside this morning. It's a clear sky, and I saw Venus sitting there in the sky. And it reminded me how real these times we are living in are. Let me just play this really quick.
Countdown.net. Pad is clear. Go for launch.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Blast off. Do you guys know what's on your screen? That was a Dragon. SpaceX Dragon. So it's just this capsule that SpaceX built. They built 10 capsules of their Dragon 1 version that was for resupplying the space station. And so that's what they've been contracted to do that with NASA since I think about 2012. So in Revelation, I want to make you guys realize how real this is. It's not a joke, and it's not a theory. Let me play the rest of this animation. I gotta let my cat out really quick. Or try to let him out. Whoops, we're gonna watch it over, I guess.
Countdown.net. Pad is clear. Go for launch.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, liftoff.
Confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed. That's in the Bible. Did you guys know that? I could read it to you, but I'll just tell it to you. Daniel saw a beast that was breaking into pieces and stamping the residue with the feet of it. Yeah, this is what he saw. And John saw this dragon up in heaven too. And you know what both of those men were being shown? They were being shown visions of the end days. Welcome to the end days, guys. Hey, Michael J. Spencer, Gary Cooper, and Refillip 56, if I got that right. Thanks for letting me know I'm live. I just want people to realize I put a post on Facebook this morning, and it said, NASA used to be the ruler of the darkness of this world, but now it's SpaceX Dragon is the ruler of the darkness of this world. Just think about that. Where's darkness? Space. Okay? I have a few things that I want to play. First of all, let's go for a quick jog, get warmed up. Find some truth in the world of lies. You gotta chase after it. Haha. Okay. So, SpaceX Dragon, you guys. So it's just a space capsule, right? It's not just a space capsule, guys. It's a manifestation of the devil. The manifestation of the devil that all the people who have read the book of Revelation all throughout the last 2,000 years have been searching for this dragon. They have been trying to put a defense up against this dragon in their life. This is Satan. And the prophets told us that. And I guess I just want to get people to realize how real this is. You know, Daniel said he saw a he-goat that had a notable horn between his eyes. And, well, let's see here. I have a video. I don't want to play it right away because it's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes. Let's see if this, let's just play this in the background here. Whoops. Okay, in Revelation, there's a beast, right? And it got its power from the dragon. SpaceX Dragon resupplies the space station. Yeah, that's true, Rhett Phillip says, oh man, I got a couple, oh sorry, I just saw Michael J. Spencer's comment. I wanna talk about your comment, Michael J. Spencer, but, yeah, biblical cosmology is real, and it's observable, and repeatable, and in fact, if you guys have heard of Michael Toon or Mick Toon, he has, I was going back and forth with him on Facebook a little bit, and I just put out a challenge to him because we both live in Minnesota, and there's a real lake with real flat water on it at its surface up just about an hour north of my house. And so I told him I'll buy him lunch and even pay for his gas to meet me up there so I can falsify his curvy measurements. But I doubt he will. But I hope he does, because it'd be nice to meet him and to show him some truth. See, it's hard to stand there looking 12 miles, seeing the ground 12 miles past where there should be water blocking it. I'm seeing 12 miles farther than that. And all he can say is, you know, what's your measurements? I'm like, you don't need measurements, dude. You're the one with the measurements. I'm falsifying them. Okay, to Michael J. Spencer's comment. He says, they just love their fancy CGI, LOL. And I totally get it, Michael. I totally get it, and I totally get it. But I wanna ask you a question, just out of curiosity. Who is they in that statement? Who is they? Are they flesh and blood, like people? Because I have a different way of looking at it than that. Because of what Paul said, and that he said we don't struggle against flesh and blood. And every person in this world is flesh and blood, whether it's Rockefeller or whether it's NASA or whether it's anybody. And remember that this dragon deceived the whole world in Revelation. The whole world. Everybody. That includes you and me. Hey, Roderick. Good to see you. So, what I'm trying to say is this deception is a past tense deception and current, present tense. It's happening right now. I mean, we're at the peak of deception right now. And it's a dragon that's deceiving the world. So, Michael J. Spencer, although people might not agree with me here, this is something that I have to say, even though I don't like saying it. I don't want to say it, but I have to say this. Daniel and John, I'm talking about these visions that they were shown of the time of the end. They were shown Michael J. Spencer thinking that all this is CGI. And what I'm not trying to rip on anybody here at all, but I have to say this. This dragon is prevailing against the saints right now, because here's the information. It's not CGI. It's an actual capsule that launches on an actual rocket and goes up into, leaves the Earth, goes out of the Earth, and it goes into outer darkness, and it rules the outer darkness now. And so when Paul was saying that about us not struggling with flesh and blood, or against flesh and blood, but we struggle against powers and principalities and the rulers of the darkness of this world. We have to listen to this in a literal sense. Where's the darkness of this world? Well, as Re Philip, if I'm saying that right, 56 brought up, biblical cosmology is real. And in biblical cosmology, there's a layer of darkness that covers the earth. It's in Genesis 1 verse 2 it says, and the earth was without form and void. This is right at the beginning. It says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And that word deep there is a deep sea abyss. Okay? So there's an abyss above the earth, on the or above the face of the earth, and it's upon the face of the waters, or it's, I don't want to say that wrong. It's the Spirit of God was moving upon the face of the waters. So those waters, that's the deep. Good call, Michael J. Spencer. Definitely a spiritual war. And here's how I see that. A spiritual war happens up in the sky. And, of course, we have, like, spiritual warfare that we fight on the earth, too, against unclean spirits. These are like the soldiers of Satan on the earth. They're his children. They're the Nephilim, or the giants. It's the spirits of those giants when they died. They stayed on the earth, and they're here working for Satan, tormenting men. I think that's where we get a lot of the evil that we have on the earth. So let's separate this out. We have evil that happens on the earth, and then we have evil that happens in the heavens. And I'm talking about that. Well, the whole book of Revelation and is talking about both, but Daniel and John specifically were talking in detail about the heavens. Let's see here. I want to show you something. Pay attention to these verses, the Bible verses that I have. They're from these visions that these guys have, and notice how closely they match with our current 2020 reality world that we live in.
Sunday morning, the SpaceX Dragon cargo spacecraft was installed on the Earth-facing side of the Harmony module 3 days after its launch from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in Florida.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
So I'm pausing it because there's some good comments in the chat. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Good morning. TJ Antipas says, the rockets they shoot up from Mahia here in New Zealand, I'm guessing, look pretty real. I just do not believe they are doing anything they say they are up there. When I see Starlink boosting over, I cringe. So this is something else that, back to Michael J. Spencer, the CGI comment. If you guys think about this, you can't say that Starlink is CGI because you can look up and see it. Okay, something's up there that's not CGI, obviously. You know what? I think my mic's a little bit loud. Let me change that. Sorry about that. Maybe that's better. But they do shoot rockets up, and they put things up in that darkness. That part's not CGI. So, although I get the CGI thing, a lot of it looks fake, because I think technically it is fake. Hey, DITRH is in here. He says rocket launches are fake. They do launch balloons sometimes. And I can't disagree with that. They have certainly, I think that was the first thing they launched, wasn't it? Was a balloon, a big old reflective balloon made out of something thinner than the cellophane of a cigarette pack, something like that. But I totally get the CGI thing. I totally get the rocket launches are fake. But DITRH, have you been looking up at the night sky for the last year? Because what is Starlink? Is that fake? No. It's something flying across the sky very fast. And yeah. So in this story, though, let me play more of this video. Whoops, I just screwed up. I just clicked the wrong button. Sorry, guys. We'll have to find our spot.
And kings
Whoops. Okay.
saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his
I'm gonna play it in a second here, but notice that the dragon gives the beast his power, seat, and great authority. This is something that 2,000 years ago, John wrote this down in a book, that he saw this, and he was told it was the end of time. So, DITRH, totally. So, I can explain what I believe that they are. He says, no idea what it is, but it's not satellites falling around a ball. That we know for certain, because there is no ball, and the Earth is flat. So what could it be? Well, if there was, like we've been trained to think that there's this, that the Earth that we're on is in this big old space of nothing, but it's not. That's the whole problem. So when we look up at the sky and we see something floating up there, it must be a balloon, or it must be something other than an orbit, because we know it's not an orbit. But what if it's the heavenly realm? Like not the Earth. And I don't really know how to explain that better. Like, it's not part of reality. They're going into where God lives. So that's a good question, GR Cleve. Could John have seen Starlink? Maybe. I know that Ezekiel was shown Starlink. God took him up to New Jerusalem, which is God's temple up in the sky, and it's real. And Ezekiel went up there, and he saw them defiling God's sanctuary up there. And God was saying it was an abomination that they were putting their what is it? They made, with their hands, they made abominations and put them up in his temple. I don't know, DITRH. I don't think anybody else is investigating these, which really, to me, I don't really know how much people understand really what I'm saying, and that's why I think a lot of people think I'm just a weirdo, or that don't like SpaceX or something, and it's not easy to explain. Basically, John and Daniel, two of these prophets that were wrote in the Bible, they were shown what God told them, that this was the end of days, this is what it looks like. And they were shown all these things. Like, I honestly think that God took them to the time we are in right now, and as if, I'm not saying I know how this is possible or something, but I believe that they're here right now watching what's happening in the world, and that's because we're so bound by time. Thank you, DITRH. It is obvious, isn't it? Like the dragon being Satan. That's what John said. He said the dragon that he saw, it was Satan, and it was fighting with Michael up in the heavens. I mean, it's like the dragon that SpaceX has, it's up in the heavens. So here's GR Cleve. Actually, by definition, Joe's a weirdo, and so am I. You know what? We're all crazies. We're all weird crazies. But you know what? That's just to this world. This world is lost. Everybody's walking around wearing masks. Come on. I walked into Walmart last night because I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure it's the same for most other people in the world. I don't like going to the store one bit. I don't like any of that because I don't wear a mask. Like, I was at the gas station the other day, standing in line, and my neighbor walked up to get in line with the mask on, and I recognized her, and so I said hi, and everyone kind of looks at you weird, and I'm like, I recognize you with your mask on. And she said, yeah. And I said, I can't do it. Just like what Yaz Child just said, I refuse to wear a mask. I can't do it. So I went into Walmart. I just walked in there, and I had earbuds in. So I'm not sure if anyone wanted me to wear a mask or not. I just didn't pay attention. I walked in, grabbed what I needed, and walked out. Because I think that's how I feel in this world anyway. It's like I'm not part of this. Part of these people in their society is nice. I'm gone from there. Yes, Roderick says it makes sense, especially when Revelation states the dragon gives power to the beast. That SpaceX has to be. Well, yeah, and who does the dragon? The dragon resupplies the space station. And the space station, this is something DITRH has done some good videos about. What is the space station, you guys? Well, John and Daniel both saw the space station too. John really specific. If you look at the verse on your screen, this is the beast that he's talking about, was the space station. Now, it says, which I saw was like unto a leopard. I don't know. Maybe that's because it's fast. Maybe leopards are fast. I don't know. But it says his feet were as the feet of a bear. And to me, that just means, oh yeah, the last 9 years, the only way to get to the space station is on a Russian rocket, a Russian Soyuz. Because the shuttle program was shut down. And so NASA had to buy tickets from Russia for 9 years. And now they just sent their first mission with astronauts, Demo 1 or whatever it was, with Bob and Doug. That's in the Bible, you guys. That's in the Bible. And in Revelation 13, I think, yeah. we're going to actually, let me play this video a little further and we'll keep going. But pay attention to what this dragon does in the story that John was shown.
Mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
European Space Agency astronaut Luca Parmitano grappled the dragon using the space station's robotic arm, Canadarm2, and NASA astronaut Andrew Morgan provided backup. The SpaceX Dragon brings 5,700 pounds of research, crew supplies, and hardware to the space station.
They worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
See the International Space Station with your naked eye. I've seen it. You know, you look up, and people are looking at it, they got their binoculars, and they're looking at it, and you know, it's a little light dot.
So we have pastors. I'm getting a warning on my live stream. It says that my bit rate's a little lower than recommended. I don't want to click on the button. Hopefully it's working. I hope it is. But okay, you guys, we have pastors in churches. Now, churches have nothing to do with Jesus in today's world. So these pastors, although they seek the Lord, they're very deceived. And look at what this guy here, he's talking about the space station, because he wants to rip on the flat earthers. They're so dumb. The space station, you watch it, it goes over. Yeah, you're deceived by it. You're doing exactly what Revelation 17 verse 8 says. They that dwell on the earth shall wonder when they behold it. When they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. So that is exactly the conversation that we were having a minute ago. That's a good point, DITRH. There's another thing about angular sight. DITRH says it is physically impossible to see the ISS with your naked eye due to its angular size, because the ISS is only a certain size. They say it's like the size of a football field or whatever, and it's 250 miles away. The angular size of something 250 miles away, the size of a football field, is not visible. But here's another interesting aspect to that I've brought this up with people, and I haven't ever heard anybody give an answer for it. We were talking about Starlink a minute ago. We're talking about the space station right now. When it is in orbit, and I film it with my whatever camera, my P1000 or something, when it's on the horizon, it's reported that it's like 800 and some miles away from me, and I'm seeing it. And then as it flies over, it gets to be like 250 miles above me, and then as it flies over to the other horizon, it gets to be farther and farther again, right? It never changes angular size the whole time. Neither does Starlink. If you guys ever seen Starlink fly over, have you noticed that they don't change angular size as they fly over either? But an airliner, a jet, totally changes angular size as it flies over. And I have an explanation for that. They think it's 250 miles away, but it's not. It just doesn't exist in our world. Like, it's not part of this reality. So if you go, yeah, it doesn't change size. It's weird. And when I mention that to other people, they don't even comment. Like globe people, they don't even comment, because I don't have an answer for it. But guess what? Think of something else that doesn't change angular size when it sets. The sun. It doesn't. I mean, sometimes it appears to get smaller, like depending on the atmosphere and things. But we've all seen the sun go down and disappear into the ground, it looks like, but it's obviously very far away because we live on a plane. So it's above us, it's up in the sky. So the angular size thing is very probably important. But so this beast, they say, who is able to make war with him? Like, that's what these pastors are saying right now. Good morning, Ron Hagberg. Good to see you.
No.
Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Right now, you can log on to the internet if you want to. And you can go to the International Space Station, the ISS, and you can get a live feed from that space station. Right now, you can watch it as it moves across the face of the earth.
Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Think of all these people that are going to be going up.
The Dragon will spend about 1 month at the station and then return to Earth with cargo and research results.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
So there's this verse right here. This explains something that it took me a while to understand this the way that I understand it now. But it says right there, the 10 horns, which John saw, are 10 kings. So when most of us, when we think of a king, we think of a person, right? Like a man. But that's not what John said here. He actually, with his eyes, he saw something he called horns. He said they were horns. He saw 10 horns, and it was told to him that these 10 horns were kings. And then in Daniel, it said they were kings that shall arise out of the earth. Arise out of the earth. Out of the earth. So, what I think is happening with all these vehicles and all these satelloons and all, whatever we want to call them, whatever we think they are, SpaceX and NASA definitely think that they're orbiting the earth. Satellites and all the things that they put up there. But how do I explain it even? Okay, we have the physical reality that we live in. Like if we studied physics, right? We would know a lot about how things work on the earth. Let's just say in a simple general sense, we understand the physical things that happen on the earth and the material things, and we all understand it because we live in it. But there's other realms, such as the heavenly realm, the celestial realm, where there is no physics. Not at all. So if NASA says the only reason why they have to go so fast is because they're falling around the curvature of the earth, well, how about this? I see it differently. They have to go so fast because they're going into the firmament. They're going into another place where physics does not exist. And so their explanation is, oh, we're free falling. That's why they float in the ISS. But really what they're doing is they're going to another realm, a realm of darkness. There was darkness upon the face of the deep, you guys. And the Spirit of God is above that darkness, above it. Let me play some more of this video.
These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
Thousands of photographs and videos from the space station as it moved in the heavens above the earth. It such a magnificent sight, it took his breath away.
Space is so incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit. Bottomless pit.
So I just was reminded about this. If DITRH is still listening, I want to thank you, man, for everything you do. I keep thinking of that video of Ruth, and that was all before the COVID thing. And if you put yourself in Ruth's shoes, to be 102 years old and learn well, she already knew the truth, but she didn't believe it. And then David met up with her and just said a few things. One of my favorite things that you said to her, David, was, because she actually said she was laying in bed one night or some nights and she wondered, where is God? And David said, he's right up in the clouds, right there. That's so important to realize, you guys, because that is in the Bible too. David's so right. Thank you for that, David, for everything you do. Because there's a lot of people that think, okay, if you looked at my channel, you'd see a lot of Jesus everywhere, right? I talk about Jesus all the time. And that doesn't mean that I'm like a Christian more than somebody, or like a believer more than... No, it just means that that's my channel. I talk about Jesus a lot. But Jesus has... well, he cometh with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment on the earth. And that's what's happening. And I'm just saying that David, the way you do things and your approach to just the way you're spreading truth is brilliant, my friend. That's all I can say. It's brilliant. Because the way that I say things, a lot of people are, I'm sure, turned off by the way I say things or the way I share truth. And I try to do the best I can. But there's other ways that people share truth. It's the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Well, there's like a body of people that has several different functions, but they're all doing the same thing. They're all working on the same thing. I think it's awesome. But yeah, good to see all you guys here too, by the way. So dragon, there's a dragon flying up in the sky. You know, it's supposed to launch I think in about 2 weeks for the first official mission with how many astronauts? 3? That's no good. Why is that no good? Because John saw 3 evil spirits like frogs coming out of the mouth of the dragon. The dragon is really important in the book of Revelation. Ohio 82 says, I dig your channel, it's heavy. I think that to me it's heavy. The things that I learn, I mean, I just say them when I learn them. I just say them, and they are heavy things sometimes. DITRH says, start thinking about clouds being angelic in nature. Yes. And the spraying of chemtrails is a war against them. Yes. Thank you. Watch a beautiful cumulus cloud day struggling against the spraying. It's right in front of us. Totally. Everything that's happening up in the sky that men are doing is wrong. It's all wrong. And yet the I'm not trying to read a bunch of scripture this morning, but if anyone's interested in what DITRH is talking about, the clouds being angelic, read Enoch chapter 18, the first book of Enoch chapter 18. And this is also important, essential, I'll call it, essential information to understand concerning the war in heaven. Because if the dragon is fighting with, this is what John saw, the dragon fighting with Michael and his angels. Well, who's Michael and his angels? DITRH just told you. All the things in nature, in the sky. Enoch 18, Enoch is shown the treasuries of the winds. And it says there that the winds, it says you guys wouldn't believe how important the winds, the four winds are. They hold up the heavens. They're the pillars of the heaven. And they hold the clouds up in the air. It's really crazy stuff that's happening right now. When it's only been 120 years or so that we've been flying aircraft. And so it went from the Wright brothers doing their experiments trying to get off the ground to SpaceX Dragon in 120 years. Almost seems like there's some spirits of fallen angels working with these rocket scientists a little bit. Because thrust is a wicked, it's a crazy, I don't even know how to even describe the energy that is used when a rocket launches. It's crazy. Gary Cooper says at DITRH, what is your YouTube channel? It's DITRH. Actually, put a link in the if you guys can put a link for his channel, and then you can subscribe. DITRH puts out awesome videos, and one of my favorite videos that he puts out is when he mirrors some of mine. No, I'm just kidding. When you put videos out with the sun fading away into nothing, I love that. And you got it's all zoomed in and everything. With your, I think you have a DJI Mavic Pro. I think that's what you have. That's what I have too. But yeah. Yes. You guys like how I just leave it on a black screen? Sorry, I haven't even had any coffee this morning. Yet. I will. I just realized yesterday I was microwaving my coffee in a cup that said, "Do not microwave." Maybe that's why I see a dragon flying up in the sky. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, we're gonna listen to a little more of this video. I don't like just playing videos. I want to talk, but there's a few things that I think are important here. The world isn't getting it. He's already doing what he's going to do. And they're looking for a cartoon. So you guys have seen, maybe I'll do this for fun. We're gonna do just a fun, quick. I'll pull it up here. We're gonna go to Google. Let's see if I go like this. Okay, you can see Google now. All right, we're gonna search Revelation. Whoops, I gotta get my dragon. Okay, now this we're gonna search for. We're gonna do a image search because you guys, this is funny. Like, do we live in a reality with real things? That's how the end of the world is going to happen too. It's going to be very real. So when we do this, do you guys think any of this stuff's real on the screen? This is what people portray the dragon as. A 7-headed red fire-breathing dragon. Do you guys know where this whole idea of a fire-breathing dragon comes from? It comes from this story. It comes from what John wrote. And not only John, but they're all throughout the scriptures far before Jesus. There's talk of a dragon. So let's just see what. Now here's the scary thing. Okay, what one of the things DITRH asked was, does anybody else talk about this? And I'm like, I can't find anybody. I have found a few people that have. A few people totally see the same thing that I'm seeing here in these scriptures. Without doubt, but very few. I have a beep in the background, some high frequency sound. Moki Effie, thank you. Hopefully it's not too bad, because I could try this. Tell me if that makes it better. I think that's going to make it worse, though. I can hear it worse, too, so I'm switching back. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably just my crappy microphone. So yeah, this is you guys don't expect to see this dragon that all these pictures are showing. Okay, you're never gonna see that. You're never gonna see a lion that has 7 leopard heads or whatever. All these images. Okay, I'll show you. Let's look at SpaceX Red Dragon. Let's look at SpaceX Red Dragon. This is what you're gonna see in the sky. Okay, we'll go to Wikipedia even. This is a real dragon, a real red dragon. Okay, not a fake one. Let me do images on that one. Okay, this is what people should be looking at, because this is the one that's real. The real, I mean, it's real. I just Google searched it, right, in 2020. That's a dragon up in heaven. And nobody, like, I think it is quite amazing that I can search for, we'll search for Revelation Red Dragon. And we'll go to images again. I'm just showing you guys that people, they're reading the Bible as if it's a fairy tale. And I'm like trying to say, hey, no, it's real, you guys. It's real. So, oh, that I opened a new page, I see. So did you guys see I put a challenge out to Micktoon? Yeah, DRT, I always call you Dirth. I don't know if that's right. That's probably wrong. Ditter. Deep inside the rabbit hole. He just put a link to his app in the chat. Let's see here. Facebook, or I'll go to my, how do I do that? Well, if you guys go to the community page, I put a screenshot of my offer, or my challenge to MC Toon. I live in Minnesota. He lives in Minnesota. There's a lake in Minnesota that's very flat that I've been to a lot, called Mille Lacs Lake. So I said, hey, I'll buy you gas, or buy you lunch and pay for your gas, and that we can meet up at the lake so I can falsify your bendy water measurements. Because every time, all he ever wants to say is, you don't have measurements? And so I give him a video that has tons of measurements, like distances, and then I show the things in the video that we're seeing, like the other side of the lake, the trees on the other side of the lake, and all that. And he just can't quite get it. So I told him I'd buy him lunch, and we could meet up there or whatever, and I could falsify his claims for him. But I doubt I'll hear about that. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Okay, let's go back to. We could have a video here that might be a little bit more fun for the morning. MC Toon will never admit anything? Oh yeah, DITRH, totally. They're all working for the other side, but we want that other side to become smaller and our side to become bigger, which it is every day, without doubt, and never goes the other way around, right? Once you go flat, you don't go back. That's just a fact. And if someone goes back, they weren't never flat. And actually, there's a reason why that is. It's because it's supernatural. It's a supernatural opening of the eyes. It's crazy that people pass this up too. Jesus said it in Revelation. He said, I counsel you to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou may be rich, and white raiment, so that you can be clothed, and your nakedness doesn't show. And then he says, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, so you can see. That's important, guys, because it's a real thing there too. A lot of people are reading the Bible as if this stuff isn't real, and I'm saying, hey, if you open your heart and you say, hey, you up there, the one who made me, if you show me how I'm being deceived, that'd be a great thing. If we all want to think, oh yeah, we know everything, or we want to know everything. Like, we want knowledge and understanding and wisdom, but it doesn't come from anything down here on the earth. Not at all. It comes from God. And so this is the whole CGI thing, right? I have to be honest. Daniel and John both saw all the saints being deceived by the dragon and by the beast. But they weren't deceived the same way as everyone else was, because in the end, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. That's why I have a channel. That's why DITRH has a channel. That's why Jeranism has a channel. That's why all these people that have channels and talk about this stuff, we're all giving testimony. We're giving our testimony. Because if you think about it, if someone has a testimony and they give it, it can be powerful, but maybe not. But then what if two people have that same testimony and they give it? Is it more powerful? Is it more believable? Yes. Hey, Beulah, good to see you. And what if 100 people had the same testimony? Is it powerful? Oh yeah, it is. And that's why there are more flat earthers every day. And there's another reason why too, because if you believe the truth, I think your eyes are open to it. Like, if you open your heart and say, hey, maybe I don't know everything. Maybe we've all been thinking the earth is a globe for our whole lives, and then maybe God did something to open our eyes. Or maybe he will do something to open your eyes. And I just know, I've seen it time and time again. I've seen it hundreds of times. I've seen atheists that are totally against the idea of God, but then they say, what is this flat earth stuff? And they look into it, and the next thing you know, they are not against the idea of there being a creator that made them and made a world for them to live in and did a lot of things for them that they didn't realize before, simply by looking at biblical or biblical creation. And there's guys like Kent Hovind that really love Jesus, but don't care about the truth. So that's, that's a scary thing to me. But I think that hopefully we, with time, I'm terrible with my vocabulary, my words. With time, people can see something is maybe more valid than the first time they heard it. Like the first time I told someone the earth was flat 5 years ago, I was even nervous telling my friend and his wife. I was like, told him. And then his wife says, yeah, me too. And I was like, whoa. But I was nervous telling him. Now I say it to everyone at the, like, I'll be walking into the store, somebody's walking, I'll be like, hey, earth's flat. Look into it. I go pick up materials at the lumber yard, and at their security thing, I'm like, hey, look at the back window of my truck. Look into it. It says research flat earth. I don't know how many people actually do. But 5 years ago, when I would say that to someone, mostly they would laugh at me. But now, I don't get laughed at ever. I mean, unless it's by someone like one of these globe salesmen like MC Toon or whatever. But I don't get laughed at. Because one thing is, I've learned, that's awesome, Beulah. My 8-year-old tells everyone the earth is flat. That's awesome. That's awesome. That reminds me of a video I did, just my last video, I think. At the end of it, there's two girls of, daughters of, or it might have been two videos of the same daughter of a friend on Facebook, that she sent me, of her saying, NASA lies. The earth isn't a ball, it's flat, or something like that. And that's so important and so cool. I love it. He needs a shirt that says, "Hey, I'm Lewis, the earth is flat." That's awesome. Gary Cooper says, if the earth was spinning around the sun, sundials would not work. That's something I never thought of. Mountain with a View. My eyes were open because I prayed, and the first time I heard flat earth, I knew it was truth. It was a supernatural awareness. Amen. Hazel Brown says, my daughters are grown and married. I feel sorry for my grandchildren growing up in this time. I have a new granddaughter, just 2 months old. I pray hard for her and all my grandchildren. Yeah, that, we do live in a crazy time to be alive. And I would not want to be a child. Well, I can't say that. I wouldn't want to be a parent. I don't have children. And the people that do, you guys have, that's a heavy thing. That's a heavy thing. From my point of view, it's like, wow, I wouldn't be able to do that right. I wouldn't be able, you know what I mean? So I was looking for a video, but I kind of forgot about that. Let's see here. I have one called Bendy Water. Wonder if this will get me I doubt it. A strike. Oh, this is this is a little bit older video when I first got my program, I think. Playing around with the CGI. Here we go. Whoa, I think that audio's gotta go. It's probably gonna get me kicked. Okay, here. We're just gonna play it with no audio for a minute. I used to put a lot of music in my videos that I shouldn't put in there. And it's only when I'm live that it seems to matter. Because I can upload a video and it's a copyright claim or whatever, but I don't monetize, so it doesn't really matter to me. But when I'm live, they don't like that, and they'll block the video a lot of the time. So I got a bunch of people dancing around on a ball. We don't live on a spinning ball, you guys. There's teacher teaching everybody. Get it? Oh, let's see here. I'm playing with all my different things I have open here. So I think what I want to do is play a video. And if I can find it. So I'm just going to let this one play for a minute while we're doing that. So, yeah. Don't even know what to say anymore with the globe. So, do we have a new president or the same president or something? What's up with that? I wonder if he's going to be pushing this whole thing.
We're tagging an asteroid.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Michelle Fowler from NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, COVID-19. And thank you for joining us. As you can see, I'm struggling with my mask here a little bit. COVID-19. As you can see, I'm struggling with my mask here a little bit. If everything has gone right tonight, a little bit of Bennu will be coming back to Earth in 2023. So let's get one last visit with our social media desk. James, what's going on? This is one of these evenings where it's such a privilege and a pleasure to be working for NASA and for the idea of scientific exploration. So I'm Dr. Michelle Faller. As you can see, I'm struggling with my mask here a little bit. We still have to deal with the challenges of COVID-19. So please bear with us today as we are working with our masks and trying to do this the best way we can. As you can see, I'm struggling with my mask here a little bit. COVID-19. For NASA, COVID-19. Bennu, COVID-19. COVID-19. For NASA, COVID-19. Bennu, COVID-19. Bennu, COVID-19. COVID-19. Bennu, COVID-19. Good night.
LOL, NASA. So NASA they obviously fall for the COVID-19. Probably because they're living on a spinning ball, if you think about it. No, I know a lot of people that live on a spinning ball that still laugh at COVID-19 too, because it is hilarious the way that, like, it's crazy to see how fast the world just changed. Like, no matter where you go now, masks everywhere. People wearing masks everywhere, like it's a normal thing. And I'm like, I'm not part of your world. I don't do that. Trump has the numbers, but the media is dragging it out. Ooh. I haven't been paying attention at all, but that's probably a good thing. I don't really follow it. I still say Jesus 2020, so that's who my vote went to. I heard somebody say something that made a little bit of sense. It's not, or your vote doesn't count. It's the counter of your vote that counts. Let's see here. Oh yeah, maybe this is I don't have the right format a lot of the time, which is right now. I'm looking for a video. Oh, I suppose I could tell a coronavirus joke since we're on the on the subject. I was going to tell you a coronavirus joke, but I'm 99.9% sure you're not going to get it. Ha 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 ha. That was just... Google says Biden is winning. Wow. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of checking Google. Heaven versus NASA. What's this? We're going to watch it.
Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us break their bands asunder, and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The Lord hath said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee.
And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them throughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to. Let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
We could resume the dream of Apollo. The goal of SpaceX really was to make as much progress as possible to advance rocket technology to the point where hopefully we can establish a colony on Mars. Dream of Apollo.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
Apollo.
Apollyon.
Apollo.
Apollyon.
And we could resume the dream of Apollo.
The angel of the bottomless pit.
Apollo.
Earth's atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour, the friction of air slows Orion considerably, while also subjecting it to temperatures of 5,000 degrees. With the Orion now at just 300 miles per hour,
Why do the heathen rage?
Whoops, I hit play again. So, did you guys notice that Apollo is the angel of the bottomless pit? That's important. And I know that we didn't think of things this way our whole lives, as that darkness up there being a place of evil. But it is. And, even NASA says it's a bottomless pit. Why is the space station, what's the difference between living on the space station and living on the Earth? What's the major difference? Ask every astronaut, they'll tell you the exact same thing. You float in space. That's why Joe says there is no physics there. And NASA says, well, there must be, it's physical, it can't be heaven, so it must be physical, and so we must be falling around a ball. Free-falling. They're being deceived. We have public service announcement here about masks from Dr. Fauci. Here, we better watch.
Okay, last time. This is
the masks.
This is your brain on
the mask.
Any questions?
And they keep touching their face.
This is what happens to your brain after
The mask.
And this is what your body goes through.
With masks.
Wait, it's not over yet. This is what your family goes through. Your friends and your job. Back to the future. And your life. Any questions?
People should not be walking around with masks.
That's what masks are. If you guys grew up the same time I grew up, you saw those commercials, and so I had to make that one about the masks. That's it. I think I'm out of here, you guys. I just wanted to remind everyone how real the dragon is that's flying up in the sky. Most the channels that call themselves ministries don't see this. I don't know why. I can't explain why, but I do know that I see it, so I have to share the information, which I would appreciate if you understand what I'm saying here, that if you share this information too. It's very important for people in the time we live in, because that sound that a rocket makes when it launches, it was in the last video. I'm going to actually find it and play a little bit of it. Where was that? Let me find this.
Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine?
And they had a king over them, which is the...
But in the Greek...
This sound right here. Enoch heard this sound and told us about it. Did you know that? That sound right there is going to destroy the earth. Now that's why... This is what I do understand about why I see this. God showed it to me by his prophets in the scriptures. Enoch chapter 67, a scary thing happens. Enoch chapter 56 and 60. Those 3 chapters right there tell us something very scary. That darkness that they call space. Well, it's another realm, and it's actually hell. But a lot of people don't believe that either, because they say hell's beneath the earth. Well, I have to tell you, hell may have been beneath the earth, but when Jesus returns, Isaiah chapter 14 says, hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee at thy coming. So all the evil spirits that are in hell, the abode of the damned, they're going to swim up above the earth. Because remember, there are waters above the earth. Dark waters. Now, there's another aspect of this. It's called Babylon. Yeah, space. Babylon the Great. And a lot of people in this world choose to believe in Babylon the Great. And they think that it's a place to explore. They think that there's something there for them. But I believe that there's a city there that is God's temple. Yes, Doc Michael, good to see you. Darkness came over the earth. Yeah, that sound is what Enoch heard, and it shook and quaked the heavens. See, in Enoch chapter 57, it's only a few verses long. He said he saw another host of wagons with men riding on them, and they were coming on the 4 winds. We know what that means. They were flying. They were coming on the 4 winds, and it was the noise from their chariots or their wagons that shook the heavens and made it moved the foundations of the earth out of their place. Because you know what? In Enoch chapter 18, when he went to see the treasuries of the winds, the four winds are the foundations of the earth. God furnished the entire creation with those four winds. I don't know exactly what that means, but I know that when Satan or Dragon, SpaceX Dragon, Satan is fighting with those four angels, that's in Revelation 7. John saw that too. He saw an angel telling those four angels, hold back those winds. Don't let them go yet. Because it was given to those four angels to hurt the earth, to destroy the earth with the four winds. So that is why it's important to understand that coming out of Babylon, when in Revelation 18, when he says, come out of her, my people, do not partake in her sins. So believe flat earth, because that'll take you right out of Babylon the Great. So that is what I want to say today. And I appreciate all you guys coming to hang out in the morning. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And tell your friends. Speak out as much as you can. You know what I've learned too? One thing I'll add before I go. The more I openly open my mouth in front of strangers and friends and everyone about Earth being flat, and most people used to just say you're an idiot, but now they don't say that at all. I mean, I'm sure there are some that do, but with the more I speak out, the easier and more effective that it is. And I'm not even kidding. Everywhere I go, I tell everybody. Everybody you see. If you're in line at the store, tell that person. Tell them to take their mask off and because you want to see their smile. I got that from Zulu 1. That's a good idea. Ask, can I take your mask off? I want to see your smile. Because that's in the Bible too, you guys. They covered their faces with shame. Don't do it. Yep. Alright, guys. Yeah. Have a good day. Let's chase some truth on the way out of here. It's fun. I like chasing truth. Alright, guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for hanging out. We'll see you next time.